So you're starting the teacher interview process and you're starting to wonder, how do you go about standing out from other candidates and how do you stand out to districts so that way you're their dream candidate and they want to hire you? Well, today I'm going to be showing you how to make districts feel like you're reading their mind by tailoring your resume and cover letter to match that district's dream ideal candidate wish list. So with that being said, let's dive in.
Hey teacher bestie, my name's Helena and I'm the creator of the Present Teacher Podcast. I'm a first year teacher coach, and in this podcast you are going to learn everything from simple, actionable classroom management, social emotional learning, and teacher wellness strategies. You know that impact you want to make in the classroom? Well, we're going to make it happen here.
Now, before we dive into why you should customize your cover letter and resume in the first place, I want to go ahead and dive in to my personal story on how I landed my first teaching position. So, during my first year of teaching, I knew that I would need to work extra hard because at the time I was 21, I had just graduated college with my master's, and I really wanted to seem like a dream client or a dream candidate for the districts I was applying to. So I went through this entire process that I'm teaching you now. And what ended up happening was I did the research, I researched the districts, and I narrowed it down to 3 that I wanted to apply for. I applied to them and I tailored my cover letter. I didn't give all 3 districts the same cover letter and resume. I actually duplicated them and customized each cover letter and resume to reflect what that district was looking for. And then I submitted my application. Not even a couple weeks later, I got a call back from 2 of the 3 positions asking for an interview. I flew from Oregon to New Mexico for the interview. I did my demo lessons, and in both instances, both positions offered me the teaching position during the interview. So with my background in mind, and since then I did end up switching districts after a couple of years simply because I ended up moving and I wanted to work at a district closer. I applied to the district expecting to get hired, and I only applied to 1 position and I got hired. And since then, I've been on places like interview committees, and even when I was student teaching, I had interview committees. So I really had both sides, sets of experiences when it comes to interviewing in my personal life. Since then, I've been sharing content online. I've been coaching other teachers, first year teachers and new teachers, on how to get their first teaching position. And I've helped them also get their teaching position anywhere from the beginning of the school year to a couple weeks into mid-year. And so with all of that experience combined, I'm showing you how I personally and my teacher clients get their teaching position, whether it's mid-year, at the end of the year, at the beginning of the year. This is the process that we follow. So with that being said, let's dive into why you should customize your cover letter and resume in the first place. So the first reason why you should customize your teacher cover letter and resume in the first place is because it shows that you're an ideal candidate. When you are going through, you're finding your district's, values and mission statement, and you are incorporating it into your personal resume and cover letter, you're mirroring back to them what they're looking for. And you're doing it in a natural, very aligned way, not a lying way, but a very aligned way that shows them that you have the same values in a very natural way. And you're showing them how aligned you are, how you have similar interests, similar missions, and how you want to help them achieve those goals. It also shows that you are passionate about what the district is passionate about, that you have the same end goal in mind, and it can often feel like you're reading your mind or their mind. In fact, during one of my callbacks during my first year of teaching, I had the principal call me asking for an interview and said she was blown away by my resume because it felt like I was reading her mind. So that's how you do it, is you do enough research and you incorporate it into your application, into your resume, into your cover letter to where the districts feel like you are exactly what they're looking for. And I'm going to talk more about grabbing values that you're aligned with in a minute, and I'm actually going to show you how. Don't worry, I'm not telling you to do it at all in a misaligned, disingenuous way, but it's also showing that when you go through your values and you're looking at these different districts, you're actually naturally going to want to apply for districts that are aligned to you. A great example of this is back when I first started teaching and I used this process for getting my first teaching position, I actually was researching about 15 to 20 different districts and different schools around the state of New Mexico. But what I found is some of them just didn't align with me, whether it was their niche.com rating or just their mission and values. They just didn't make me feel excited about it. So really narrowed down who I naturally wanted to apply for, which made it a lot easier to show up passionately in that interview, because I was really passionate about what that district stood for and what they wanted to do as a district and as a school and what kind of impact they wanted to have on education, because I naturally had the same values. So when you go about this, you are showing who you are naturally aligned with, and you're really weeding out some of the unnecessary time that it's going to take to get all the way to the interview process just to find out they're not really for you. So that's the first reason why you should tailor your resume and cover letter to reflect the district's values, because it really helps show that you're an ideal candidate, and it helps you weed out the districts that maybe aren't aligned to you. The second reason that you should customize your teacher cover letter and resume is it shows that you are serious about working for that district. It shows that you're not mass sending your same resume and your same cover letter to all the districts in the world. You've sat down, you've done the research, and you are ready to work for this particular district or school, and you're ready to help them achieve their goals because their goals are the same as you and their mission is the same as you. So again, when you come into an interview knowing as much as you can about the district, what they stand for, where their numbers are at, and where they want to go, it really shows that you're doing your research, you're doing your homework, and you're doing one step more than the teacher next door might be. The teacher next door might just be applying to 20 different districts with the same cover letter and resume, not really caring to take the time to get to know that particular district and what they're looking for. So that's the second reason. The third reason is that it helps you show up confidently, and it shows that you are confident for the position and your alignment to it. It helps you show up in not a desperate energy. When I was clear on, hey, this is one of the 3 districts that I feel really excited about, I would be really, really ecstatic to work here. But if they don't hire me, that's okay. I found 2 other districts that feel really, really good to me, and I feel like I'd be a really good part of their team. That helps you show up in a confident way, in a way that you're not being desperate. Like you have to have this job, or you're just desperately reaching out for any job you can get. And it shows that, hey, essentially during the interview, hey, here's what I'm passionate about. I saw that you were passionate in this too. Let's work together. Here's how I can help you and you can help me achieve those same goals. It's a very kind of beautiful way to go about interviewing, as opposed to just desperately clawing out and putting as many hooks out in the sea, hoping you catch any fish and calling it good. You're being very strategic about which hooks and which bait you put out, because you really want to find the right district. One of the reasons I'm so passionate, and all the reasons I created all the interview stuff I've created online, is because I've seen firsthand how working for a really good district can help new teachers, and how working for maybe the wrong district where you don't have a lot of support can really make or break your career, especially in those first couple of years. So being really intentional with what kind of district you're looking for, what kind of support you're wanting, can really help you get into a good district where you're gonna feel that support. Now, I'm not saying every district is going to be perfect, but I'm saying if I can help more teachers, new teachers, get into the right districts that want to help them and are aligned to them, then that's exactly what I'm going to do. Because if I can help more teachers who want to stay in the profession, if that's what they want to do, I'm going to do that. And this is how we do that. This is one of the first things we do. So now that you know why you should go about customizing your cover letter and resume, I'm going to actually show you behind the scenes on how I personally, and how I've taught my clients and the people inside Land Your Dream Job, how they have gone about customizing their cover letter and resume to match the district they're applying for. So that being said, let's dive into it. All right, so first things first, I'm gonna show you the database where I did the research that I showed in part 1 of this series. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, make sure to go to the last episode in the podcast or into the last video. I'll make sure to put a link in the description so you can see what I'm talking about. But essentially, this is the database that I created and put inside Land Your Dream Job. Land Your Dream Job is my mini course I have, my program that helps new teachers prepare to land their dream job in a single weekend. Everything from research to application to how to show up during the interview, how to follow up, etc., all the way to getting your first teaching position or your next teaching position. So this is one of the bonuses in there, and this is actually the exact database I used when I was applying as a teacher. I just kind of changed the colors and kind of automated a couple things to make it a little nicer for the original clients, the teachers who were first year teachers at the time looking for a resource. I happen to have one. I just kind of made it nice and pretty for them. So we went through a sample where we researched Portland school districts. So Portland School District is a town in Oregon where I'm originally from. I'm currently in New Mexico, but for example, we're going to use this school district as an example of how you can do research. So in the research phase, we did the mission statement and we did the niche.com. So I'm going to go to the mission statement, and here's what we're going to do. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna pick 3 to 5 pieces of this mission statement or their values that are aligned to me. Now, when I'm saying aligned in mission statement and values, I am not just picking values for the sake of values. As I said, when I went through this and I had 20 or so, districts or schools I was applying to, this helped me naturally weed out the districts that I felt weren't going to be aligned with me. I only applied to teaching positions that felt aligned to me, and I could authentically and 100% stand by values that I picked out of this district. So again, I went from 15 to 20 schools to 3. So as you do this research phase, don't feel like you have to apply to everyone unless you want to, but authentically pick out 3 to 5 different values that you're aligned with. So right here we have Portland Public Schools is to support all students in achieving their highest educational and personal potential, to inspire them in enduring love for learning and preparing them to contribute as citizens of a diverse, multicultural, and international community. All right, so out of here, the different values I'm picking out of here is achieving their highest educational and personal potential. That's something I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about being a lifelong learner. I like being a lifelong learner myself, but I also want to implement that into my students. And I feel like when you incorporate that, that really helps them become the highest educational and personal potential. And to enduring love and learning. This piece, that especially is something I'm passionate about, so I'm going to use that. I want to create lifelong learners. Essentially, that's the verbiage I'm going to use. I could use the verbiage that they use, but it's not natural to me, so I'm going to use lifelong learners. And then diverse here. Citizens of a diverse, multicultural, and international community. I am ESL endorsed. I am a huge proponent of a culturally inclusive classroom. So that's another one I'm really going to use when it comes to my personal resume and cover letter. So now that we looked at this one district and we picked, anywhere from 2 to 5, 3 to 5 values that are aligned, I'm going to go to my cover letter and resume. Now this is the cover letter and resume for my ultimate teacher interview template bundle. So essentially what it is, it's on Canva. I created a training that walks you through how to use it, but essentially I have an example cover letter and resume, so you can look at how I would verb, as far as my cover letter, and then what my resume would look like and how I fit it on a page. And then I also have templates here. The cool thing about these templates that I have in this is I tell you exactly what to put in each section. You just have to fill it out. So here in the first paragraph, this is what the second paragraph should say, the third and the final, and then same with your resume. I show you all of that too. I show you right here, here's your teacher experience, and then make sure you put your it factor and any of the values you're aligned with, and then tasks that you've completed that ties to the mission statement. So there's all that, and then some other stuff here. Again, I made 10 different ones. So there's a bunch that we can choose from based off, and you can change the colors of these at any point. Really just picking ones that kind of match your personality. And then I also have in here follow-up email templates. So in here, if you want to follow up after you send an application or you have an interview, which I highly recommend you do 1 week to 2 weeks after your interview. This is, here's some templates with exact verbiage on how you just have to fill in your specific things. And I tell you how to fill those out and how to sound like very professional, remind them of why you are a good fit, what you're passionate about, and how you'd be a good candidate for them. So we have different those. I have one for a resignation letter. You're not sure how you're gonna, resign from your current job. If that's the case, I came up with, again, verbiage. You just have to fill out the information and you can tweak them. This is, you have your own. And then also thank you letter templates. So immediately after, if you want to do a thank you letter, you can also do that. And then a request for letters of recommendation. Another thing that I'm going to add to this month, which I'm super excited about, is I'm actually adding the mini lesson. So throughout my teaching career, I've used one template for my lesson plans, and I use those for my demo lesson. And I got such good compliments on that during my 2 interviews. Plus, I've used that template for observations sent. So I'm gonna incorporate that, and I'm gonna put that at the bottom of this template. So if you already have access to this, go ahead and go back to the link and refresh it, and you should be able to get it. Otherwise, I'm adding that to that this month. By the time you see this, it'll already be added. Okay, so anyways, that's where I got this from. So if you want to download this, check out the Ultimate Teacher Interview Template bundle down below. Essentially though, here we go. So this is going to be our cover letter and our resume. So we're going to use those mission statements that we applied to earlier, and we're going to incorporate it here. So about me, as a young and engaging primary teacher, I bring a fresh perspective and a wavering commitment to nurturing the individual needs of students. I'm dedicated to creating meaningful connections with my students and empowering them to reach their full potential academically, socially, and emotionally. So in here, what I'm gonna do is, let's say I have a generic cover letter and resume like I do here. I'm going to duplicate these. I'm actually gonna go here. Okay. Go here. I'm gonna add a blank page so I remember to delete this later. That way you guys don't have my work for this video when you use the template. Anyways, okay. So I'm gonna go in here and I'm going to start adding things that are from that mission statement. So again, we have, let's go back. So we have support all students in achieving their highest educational and personal potential. So reaching the needs of all students. Enduring love for learning. So lifelong learners. And then diversity and culturally inclusive classrooms. That's what I'm gonna tailor it to. Now, I'm pretty sure this one's gonna be already tailored to it, but let's look. I'm ready to express my interest in the primary teacher position at Portland Public Schools. Yep, I already read it, but we can look at it. With a deep passion for fostering a supportive and inclusive environment. So if I didn't have that in my resume, I would add that in because I want to talk about diversity and making a culturally inclusive environment where every student feels seen, heard, and understood. Ooh, I get to edit it while we're here. There we go. I'm excited about the opportunity to contribute to your school's mission of creating lifelong learners. So I could take this and instead of doing to contribute to your school's mission of, and I would put it here. We already have it there, but let's say I wanted to do of meeting the needs of each individual student or whatever. Okay, so that would be essentially if I wanted to fix it to a different value, I could. Whoops, forward. Okay, moving on. In my previous teaching experience, I have demonstrated mastery in, and then skills I'm going to need to fix or to tailor that mission statement on those values. Again, I'm not lying at all. I'm taking the skills, the things I've learned to help tailor it to that particular district's mission statement. So developing a differentiated instruction strategies to meet the diverse learning styles and abilities of my students. Again, diverse learners. Through data-driven instruction and clear communication, I have effectively supported student growth and academic achievement. So this is exactly from here. So their highest educational and personal potential. Exactly. I'm particularly drawn to, and then insert your school's mission here, of fostering lifelong learners and promoting inclusivity. Your commitment to creating an environment where all students feel valued and supported resonates deeply with me. I'm eager to contribute to this mission by implementing innovative teaching methods and cultivating a classroom culture that celebrates diversity and promotes empathy and understanding among students. Again, I'm particularly drawn to blank's mission of, enter it here. What pieces of that particular person's or that particular school or district's mission are you passionate about? Districts are gonna see that you put in the extra work. Not every teacher's doing this. I think they should be, but not every district is, or every candidate is looking at the mission and values of each district or each school and creating a tailored cover letter, resume for that district. I am confident. Here's why you think you'll be able to, or how you think you'll be able to, impact that mission statement. I am confident that my background in primary education, coupled with my passion for creating a nurturing and inclusive learning environment, makes me a strong fit for the primary teaching position. What position at insert school here? I look forward to the opportunity to discuss how my skills and experience align with the needs of your school's future. See, this is why we reread them. School's future. Thank you for considering my application. I appreciate your time and consideration, and I'm eager to contribute to the vibrant community at blank. Please find my resume attached. So again, you can go through and tailor all this to fit the missions and the values of your school. And the first one, we talked about you're doing your interest. Why are you interested? This is why I'm interested, because I have a deep passion for supporting and creating an inclusive learning environment where students feel seen, heard, and understood. I already fixed that. Maybe I didn't. I'm excited, and then I'm also excited about why are you excited to work for this school? What drew you to them? And then here in the second one, your previous teaching experience. How has your previous teaching experience helped you reach the goals and the skills and the missions and the values that the district and you both have? Why were you drawn to their mission? What in it are you excited about adding to or helping? And then here, you're confident about your background. What in your background has helped you achieve some of the skills that you're going to need to help them achieve their mission and values? And then thank them and talk about how you're excited and to hear from them essentially. Let's go to the resume. So here's the resume. Again, I have a ton of templates, but here's, all of my particular stuff. So here I have my schooling, And then I'm highlighting skills that are going to help me show that I have experience for what skills and values they're looking in their mission statement and their values. So right here, I have a minor in English as a second language and as a second language learner, English as a second language, and a minor in Spanish. Okay. So this shows that I am really passionate about diverse learning. Here's my experience. I could have listed a ton of skills here. I went with that one for this particular resume because I felt like it was important. For differentiating instructions to meet the needs of diverse learners, I'm hitting home again with that particular value because I'm aligned to it. It's something I'm passionate about naturally as a teacher. Then the skills. What skills am I going to need to be aligned with what they're trying to achieve? So data-driven instruction, lesson planning, differentiating instruction, that's a huge one. Small group intervention, clear and consistent communication. That was supposed to be one. Okay, so again, I'm showing that I'm going to meet students where they are at. Work experience. Collaborated with mentor teachers and school staff to develop and implement lessons and promoted empathy, respect, and inclusivity, aligning with the school's mission of creating nurturing learning environment for all students. I particularly put right here how this work experience helped me achieve that mission and goals. And then again, I listed particular skills I used to reach that mission and values. So right here, again, utilize the innovative approaches, including storytelling and role-playing to engage students in learning activities, promoting curiosity, and a love for lifelong learners while aligning with the school's goal of creating lifelong learners. That was probably repetitive. I could have probably reworded that. But again, the particular value that I'm aligned with, here's how I did that. And then last one, inclusive teaching strategies as a cooperative learning and peer tutoring. So here, I'm talking about how I make learning fun. Okay, so I'm gonna put right here, here's how I did that. Okay, all right. So when it comes to doing this, essentially you're taking 3 to 5 values from the mission statement, from their website, from their values, and you're incorporating it not only in your cover letter, but also in your resume. And then all that I do when I'm done with that one is I go over here, whatever website you're using, and I duplicate it, and I can create another title page, and I do it again. This time I do it for the other school district. So let's say I do Hood River Public Schools. I'm gonna look at their 3 mission and values that I'm aligned with. I'm gonna incorporate it into my cover letter. I'm gonna incorporate it into my resume. I don't have to start from scratch every time. Customizing our cover letter and resume to each district, for me, only took a couple of minutes, like 30 minutes tops. So doing this is really gonna help you stay ahead, and it's gonna really help you feel aligned to the school. Now, after you do that, I highly recommend you go through, as you saw, I had some typos, go through, read it, make sure it flows, fix the wording as needed, and then just copy and do it again so you can do it for another district. So that wraps up how I personally customize my cover letter and resume, and I teach other teachers how to customize their cover letter and resume to the position that they are applying for or that I am applying for. So the first part of today's content, we talked about why is it important. It's important to customize your cover letter and resume so that it shows that you are an ideal candidate. You looked into what the district is looking for, you feel aligned to them, you can demonstrate how you feel aligned to them, and you'll be a good team, and you can reflect that in your cover letter and resume. It shows that you're serious. Most teachers aren't doing this work, and so by taking this extra step, you're showing, hey, I'm serious about you as a person, not just in general. It's kind of like if you were to go on a date with someone who is really, really excited about getting to know you versus someone who is just excited to get a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a spouse or whatever. You can feel the difference, and so can the interview committees. So making sure that you're saying, hey, I see you, I see what value you have, what you're passionate about. I'm passionate about it too. Here's why. And you can demonstrate that to them. The third thing is you're showing up confidently. You're showing up in the energy of, hey, I'm passionate, you're passionate. I think we would be a good fit together. But if not, that's totally fine. I have other districts I'm applying for too. And it helps you with that nonchalant confidence that if things don't work out, that's okay because you have other options. And then the second phase of this content that we talked about is how to do it. We talked about how to go to the school's mission and values and the research that we did previously. We talked about how to pick 3 to 5 aligned values and incorporate them in the resume and cover letter. And then we talked about how to make a copy of your cover letter and resume and to naturally incorporate it throughout, and then to edit it to reflect aligned values and mission statements. We talked about how you can then duplicate it from there and tweak it for other districts and other schools and their missions and values. So, after using this strategy, are you going to use it? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious how it works for you, or send me a DM. I would love to hear how it worked for you and what advice and what feedback you got. And if you want help with more interview tips, I have a couple places to send you. First off, if you want more free content on the interview process, make sure to check out my content, whether you're on my podcast channel or my YouTube channel. I have a ton of free content on the interview process. It's something I'm really passionate about, so make sure to check that out. If you want me to compile a list of my top 10 videos in regards to interviewing, the most commonly asked questions I get asked in regards to how to interview and get hired, and you want it compiled into one nice little PDF, I created the Ultimate Teacher Interview Guide. In this guide, I answer the top 10 questions I get from new teachers about how to interview and how the process works. And I link to additional podcasts and YouTube videos so you can refer back to it as you go. I answer the questions, but I also refer back to those resources. If you want a further explanation, you can listen to a past podcast or YouTube video to hear what I have to say in the strategies and methods I use in a more in-depth way. If you want to take it a step further and you particularly liked the resume and cover letter I use and you really want me to kind of help you with the verbiage and you just want to be able to plug and play like I showed you, the missions and values and your particular info, make sure to check out the Ultimate Teacher Interview Bundle in the description. That's where I put all the teacher resources, interview resources you are going to need that I showed you in that Canva template so that you can prepare for your week or your interview in a single weekend without having to worry about it. If you want to take it a step further than that, if you want help with the practical strategies, things like how to research, how to write your cover letter and resume, how to apply, what to do once you get a callback, what to do for a demo lesson, what to do, what to wear, how to show up during the interview, what questions to ask. All of that info I put inside Land Your Dream Job. Land Your Dream Job is my program that helps new and first year teachers get their first or next teaching position, prepare to get it confidently in a single weekend. I created an entire program that shows you everything you're gonna need, and I made it short, sweet, actionable, and potent. That way you're not taking a ton of time doing it, because the reality is, if you're like me, during this time of year, you're busy. You're graduating, you're visiting family, you're moving, you're trying to get stuff for your classroom. You don't have time to spend months and months and months prepping for an interview. You need to get interviewed and hired now, and that's what I show you inside Land Your Dream Job. All right, so with that being said, what questions do you have about the interview process? Make sure to drop them either in the comments below or in my DMs. As always, remember, we are stronger together, and I'll see you in the next one, Teacher Bestie. Bye!
Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode. I hope that you were able to take away some value that will help you thrive inside and out of the classroom. It would mean the world to me if you could take 5 seconds right now and leave a review on this podcast. And if you found this podcast especially helpful, make sure to take a screenshot of this episode right now and tag me on your socials to let me know you're listening. As always, remember that we are stronger together with all the love in the world. Helena, aka the Present Teacher. See you next time, Teacher Bestie.